Okay, here we go. Just give me one sec, guys. Just gonna get ready in a second. I'm just gonna go. Right, just give us one sec, guys, because yeah, as I say, it's getting set up. So yes, guys, good evening and welcome to Hoppers Motorsport Vlogs. How are we doing, people? How is your Tuesday? Yeah, it's a bit weird. We're live on a Tuesday. We do have a special guest going to be joining us very shortly, and that is, of course, Rich from the High Compound. I've kindly invited him, excuse me, for a chat to talk about the Hard Compound, how he started the Hard Compound, as well as a bit of a motorsport chat, as well as probably a bit about British Touring Cars. We actually met for the first time, actually face to face, at Stetson over the weekend for the British Touring Cars. We will not be discussing Stetson. Well, we probably will discuss our thoughts and opinions about it with Rich during the live video, but we will be potentially discussing motorsport. But from our perspective, from the vlog perspective, we won't be discussing Snetterton until at least Friday, and we are we should be discussing and a catch up as of tomorrow. So if you are watching this, guys, please do like and follow Hoppers Motorsport Vlogs. Rich is actually going to be on his way, so hopefully I'll tag him in the comments so then we can get him in very shortly. Don't know whether it's going to be on his personal Facebook or the Hard Compound, but as I say, we met face to face excuse me, at Stetson over the weekend for the BTCC. So hopefully we get you guys involved. So you may think I'm live on other platforms. I'm not. I'm only live on here, but I'm actually recording it on my old phone, so I can actually watch it back and potentially transfer it to YouTube. All being well, but hopefully you guys can hear us, hopefully you guys can see us, so hopefully we'll get into tonight's guest very soon. But hopefully everyone's doing well on this Tuesday. I'm sure Rich will be delighted to have you guys asking questions, as well as questions from me, but I'll try and get some questions out there. Obviously, you know, I feel like I'm a bit unprepared. I may sound like I've got a cold. I haven't. It's just my nose is blocked. I think it's actually hay fever, so I do apologise for that. But as I say, we'll get into the live video very soon. But I am looking forward to this one because it is kind of, as I say, it was planned a couple of weeks ago, but we met face to face at Snetterton over the weekend, but hopefully Rich can join us when he is ready, which I actually really can't figure out how I actually do it, because it's been a while. So give us a second, I'll try and see if I can invite him, but excuse me, but we'll see if you can request to join, because I can't figure out how I can do it from my end at the minute. It's not allowed me, but we'll see if we've got any viewers around. But what I could do is share it around if I can. So give us 1 second. Give us 1 second. It's just a bit of a ball ache because obviously, you know, I try and share it around as best I can, but hopefully he can. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a ball ache. God, it's warm in here. I'll have to open the window. Give us a second. There we go. Get a bit of window. Get some air in here. Ah, there we go. There we go. See if we can do it. There we go. Spot on. We've got it. Oh. There we go. It should work. It should work this time. Just give us 1 second. Hey, there we go. How are you, mate?
I'm all right. Yeah, sorry about that. I was on my laptop, just over there.
Yeah,
and I've gone down the old mobile phone handheld.
No worries, mate. No worries.
To get wrist cramp from holding my phone root.
Oh, mate. Just do what I do and get a tripod and just stick it on there.
Magic tripod.
There we go. That might help.
What I do need to do is move my laptop out of the way so I can put this thing up on the thing. So what I'm going to do, just bear with me a second, chap.
That's all right.
I'll fold that down.
That's all.
This is the joys of live streaming, as I'm very familiar with.
Yeah, hello. It's something I used to do is hold my phone, and I used to like have to swap hands halfway through the live video, and it's like
Yeah, I'm just going to rest my hand on my knee and my knee on my other knee, and we'll be fine.
You'll be right.
Happy day. Anyway, good to see you on Sunday, mate. How was your weekend?
It was good, amazing. To be fair, it wasn't too bad. Bit sunburnt, but you know.
You must be knackered. I mean, you covered some mileage on the weekend.
Mate, I clocked some mileage, but I got back I think about 7:30 last night in the end.
Okay.
So it wasn't too.
You got back about after I did.
Yeah, I think we kind of like. I thought we'd get the early train from Norwich, and then like think, well, hang on, doesn't matter, you know. I was thinking, well, if we get the later one, we're going to be back later, but now we got back in plenty of time, so.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't see it's faded now, but I looked a bit like a lobster Sunday night. The sun cream and the hat. The sun cream didn't do the job.
I think we didn't take any sun cream. We thought it was going to be windy, and that was going to be exactly that. But then,
well, that was the danger because it was ridiculous because we had the hat on and the sun cream on because it was hot, and then as you got up on the banking up at Agostini, it was like standing in it was like being in a wind tunnel.
Yeah, no, it was mad.
I felt like putting some of that dye on myself just to see if I could sort of, to see how streamlined I am. But
well, we were in the Bonhole grandstand for the whole weekend. It's like, you know, do we take the sun cream? Do we not? And obviously we're preparing a lot of things because obviously we're traveling away from home for that weekend. We have to take waterproofs. We have to take extra layers just in case it's like horrible. But
yeah, of course.
Braved it out though, so
yeah, good. Fair play to you for doing the whole time. Fair play.
It's worth doing, mate. If you ever do it,
I've got to wait for the kids to move out first.
Fair enough, mate.
I can't lumber my wife with the kids. I did that for the Indy 500, and I'm still making up for it. And it's been a year.
Fair enough.
It's been a whole year.
So, Rich, thanks for coming. First of all, thanks for coming on, mate. Because this is kind of like something I thought I'd do. Because I've watched your interviews, but I thought we might as well get you on. Because why not?
Start low, huh?
Well, like I say, I've watched your interviews and I thought, well, maybe it's better that I interview you for a change.
This feels a bit weird. Normally, I've got about 4 pages of A4 in front of me, and I know what I'm talking about. But I'm a
Oh,
bit off guard tonight, so
well,
I'm a bit.
I was unplanned because I've been busy today, but I've only got a couple of questions. But we'll see if we can get through some.
Yeah, we'll pad it all out and waffle on about some kind of nonsense. I'm sure.
Yeah, of course, mate.
I do that very well.
Yeah. Obviously, wrecking the hard compound mug. Fair point, mate. Fair point.
It's the only one that was on my desk here. I thought, right, I need to get a mug, and I was just coming in here to set the laptop
Yeah.
up. What that'll do. I'll give it a ring. It's been sitting there for a week, which is a bit rank,
Oh.
but I did wash it.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Well, do you want to tell us how the hard compound started? What come up with the name? What was the originality?
Well, yeah, I mean, it started in 2019. I mean, for those of you who haven't tuned into it or don't know the story, basically a motorsport nerd. I mean, I'm on topic with my Team 10 Penske t-shirt. I'm on the Indy 500 mode this week. But I've been a motorsport fan since I was 5.
Yeah.
So that was 86. Nigel Mansell was my hero, as was that chap up there. Ayrton. So I've been in motorsport. Yeah, I've been into it all my life. And I used to write little like race reports in the back of my school book. You know, everyone else is writing down names of the girls they fancied and drawing silly pictures.
Yeah.
And I was saying about who'd spun and who put it on pole and who won and and all that kind of nonsense. And we were moving house in 2019.
Right.
From the flat to the house that we're in now.
Yeah.
And I found this old notepad, old notebook thing. And I showed my wife and I said, oh, look, this is what, these are some of the old race reports that I did.
Yeah.
I said, well, why don't you, why don't you do something online? I was like, yeah, I suppose, yeah, could do. So, mulled it over, thought about it, went to Knockhill, 2019. With some mates, had a weekend up in Edinburgh, watched a bit of football, had a night out, and went to Knockhill and stuff. And I thought, and I really enjoyed it. And I thought, yeah, why not? And I thought, well, let's just have a page that isn't just BTCC. It's not just F1, not just IndyCar. Let's just do something where I can share my sort of love of all things motorsport.
Yeah.
And if there's anyone minded out there that might want to, tune in and read about it and maybe learn something or have a discussion or whatever. And so I set it up, and I was going to set it all up, and I was making notes and stuff about what I wanted it to be. Obviously, live interviews and that kind of a thing weren't even on the radar.
Yeah,
that was kind of born out of COVID, really. But
right,
and I thought, okay, great. And then I was just thinking, what am I going to call this thing? I needed kind of a catchy name, having something like Rich's Motorsport page is a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just but I thought, well, let's just, and I was watching, had some highlights on in the background for the F1, and Martin Brundle just said, oh, and now so-and-so's coming in, he's going to do a short stint on the hard compound tyre. And I went, yeah, well, the hard compound's a motorsport thing. A compound is a place that you could be in, so I'm not going to do any better than that, so that'll do. That was it, complete.
Fair enough. It's a bit similar to me because I started Hopper's Motorsport vlogs in 2019 purely because I was hitting 30 years of age is why I did it.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've been a petrol head since this time next week for 24 years of British touring cars. And I thought, why don't I just share my utopia, my thoughts and opinions about motorsport as well as the British touring cars, mainly about the British touring cars because that's obviously what I'm into. But then I thought this is better because I wanted to share everyone what's going on. And I seriously have, what's the word I'm going to say? kind of find it hard to explain how I feel on certain things. But when I watch you do your interviews, then I think, well, hang on, take a step back. Doesn't matter how it's worded, doesn't matter how it sounds. We're all human. We all take it and we answer it all differently.
Yeah, and we've all got different ways of talking about stuff. I mean, you've probably noticed. I mean, having the guests on for that are the older guys and have got long careers, it's probably the best way to shut me up because I can talk for hours about it.
As we were discussing on Sunday,
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And that's what I like, because I can't do like maybe 4 hours worth of a live video, because
a 4 hour video is never the plan. It's never the plan to do 4 hours, but when you've got Jerry Marley doing his first chat for 30 years, you kind of can't shut him up. And I wouldn't want to. So you
exactly, mate. Exactly.
Let's get on with it.
Yeah, of course, mate. But yeah, but this is the thing. It's kind of nice when you've done things at a similar time frame. Whereas I look at it now and I think, well, could I have started it earlier? Could I have started it later? And I look back now, I think, no, 2019 was the right time.
Yeah.
Partly just because of the COVID pandemic, don't get me wrong. But eventually I'll overcome that fear of thinking, well, hang on, we've got this, we've got that. But it's just me.
Yeah.
I
mean,
yeah.
to be honest, I mean, you're saying, should you have started it earlier? Should you have done it later? Blah, blah, blah. I'd never really thought about it, but I wish I had started it earlier. But that's because I'm a bit older than you.
Stop it. You're only 21, mate. I'm going to be nice here and say you're only 21, so there you go.
21. Crikey. That was a long time ago.
Well, that's the thing with being nice on me.
It was, in fact, half my life ago.
Yeah.
So, blimey. But, no, I mean, it's one of those things. It just starts off as a hobby, and
yeah.
What was amazing was I was like, right, Paige, let's tackle all the motorsport. Let's tackle everything. And then COVID hit, and there wasn't any. So I thought, oh God, oh geez, I've just set this thing up, and I've been out bigging it up, contacting people, saying, come and give me a follow, being a pest.
Yeah.
And then there's no motorsport left. So I thought, oh God, now what? I thought this thing's going to die on its backside before it's got anywhere.
Yeah.
And then I think I remember I did an A to Z of motorsport every other day. I picked a letter and did 3 or 4 posts.
Yeah.
A is for Aston, and B is for Brabham, C is for, I don't know, Carlos Reutemann or something.
Yeah.
It was fun when I got to Q. I'll tell you.
I read it was. So I think of something to be with Q. Yeah.
There was only 2 posts that day. Yeah. There was only 2. One was the Audi Quattro.
Right. Yeah.
The other one was, what was it? Dieter Quester. I found this Swiss or Austrian, I can't remember, a racing driver from years ago. Did it with him. But yeah, and you think, oh God, this isn't great. And I think, well, that was the first time that I thought I've picked the wrong time to do this. But
well, there's been a few ups and downs with the vlogs and stuff like that. As I said, COVID pandemic affected us massively because we were new to the vlogging scene. We're new to getting my thoughts and opinions of motorsport out there. But the guys that have followed me for a long time, that you probably will see a couple of the guys that have followed us for like 3 years, 4 years, whatever. And it's like been, okay, kept them going through lockdown with 2 live videos a week, and that's why it stems to now, really.
But I mean, you kind of say that. It's nice that they have said to you, oh, it kept me going with a bit of motorsport, which is good. I mean, obviously I'm not going to name names.
No.
There's a chap, he follows my page, has been very supportive, very helpful, with bits of info and stuff like that. And I caught up with him. You might have seen I did one of these driving experience things
I saw that. Yeah, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and I did one of those. Excuse me. And he was in the area, and he said, "Oh, can I pop along and meet you in person?" I was like, "Yeah, of course you can." And he actually said, "Oh, congratulations on." Sorry, my chair's squeaking on the thing behind me.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, and he said, "Oh, congratulations on the interviews and whatever." I was like, "Thank you." And he says, "But also, it basically saved me because he was made redundant just before COVID, and he was at
Oh,
a fairly sort of
man.
fairly low ebb."
Yeah.
And he said that the posts that I put out in the live interviews, they said it really helped pick him up and get his head back in the game. And I thought, you know what? Nothing else matters. When one person says that, that really means a lot.
Oh, it does,
And
like, yeah.
yeah, so it was really lovely. I had a bit of a lump in my throat, I must admit. I was like, wow, that is amazing. So just to show you, if you could just help one person, you know.
That's the thing, Rich, because people are like that with me. They say, "Oh, we enjoy your content, be yourself," and stuff like that. And when I've had, like you've seen recently, we hit like 200 likes within just under an hour after I wrapped up a video, thanks to Michael Crease.
Brilliant,
And I was
brilliant.
like, "What the
And
heck? What the heck's going on?"
but I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you can get someone on for a chat who is happy to share it around and all that kind of a thing, and if you can just reach one person who can say who will share it,
Yeah,
then that's the power of the internet. You know, it can
it's
spread
mad.
it around, it can really
It's
take
mad.
off.
It's mad because I never really thought that when I first started. I never thought we'd get leaps and bounds where we are now.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was, I'll be honest, I was scared about doing this when I first started in 2019.
Yeah.
Because with my autism, I kind of step back and think, should I have said that? Should I have said this? Should I have really stopped myself from worrying? But then people have said, oh, your content's great. We love it. It doesn't matter who it is. You know, people are there to help and people have come on board. People have come up to me. People, I've come and meet new people like yourself over the weekend. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know,
And excuse me, I mean, it's as you say, you just got to sort of be yourself. And I mean, did you feel like you were sort of opening yourself up to a whole world of criticism if you got something wrong? Because that's what I felt like. I
yeah,
was like, gee,
I
I've got
honestly
to get
thought I
this
was going to get
right.
probably a lot of negative comments and probably like some, excuse the language, but some sort of bullshit
Yeah.
person coming at me saying, "Did you know that's really bullshit or utter horse shit?" I was like, "Well, hang on a minute, it's not like that here. It's a brilliant, relaxed atmosphere." But you know, I say to people, I'm a down to earth guy. I answer it to the best as I can, but sometimes I shy away and think, when I finished, why was I saying all these things when people are probably going to look at me? And I was like, hang on a minute, it's my face, it's my knowledge of motorsport.
Yeah.
But then people don't realise the ins and outs what I go through day to day basis.
No, and I don't think anyone can. You
No,
know, you know, whether you mentioned your autism or whether you've got that or whether just anyone's got a different mindset, and no one
yeah,
knows like the mental battle that you go through. I mean, people probably don't know. I mean, I'm a pretty sort of confident and chatty person. I'll
yeah,
go and talk to
yeah,
anyone, and I can, I can bite back if I need to.
of course,
But
fucking anyone, mate.
pretty much before every post that goes out, and there's 3 a day generally,
Yeah, of course.
plus the reviews. Before every post, I read it and I think about it. I think, what's the reaction going to be like to this? Is it going to get people engaged? Is it right? Is it interesting? Is it relevant?
Yeah,
And you think, should I have done something else? But all that goes through my mind in about a second and a half,
mm-hmm.
and then I think, oh, shut up, Rich, hit the button. Um, you can always delete it, can't you?
Yeah, you can always get rid. You can always get rid of it before anyone says. That's why I would schedule my posts, because if I want to edit that post before it goes out, I can then say, right, hang on, right, take it off reschedule or reschedule, take it off the schedule, redo it, then put it back out there.
Yeah.
And it's worked. It's worked 9 times out of 10. Things have worked. 9 times out of 10 it hasn't.
Yeah.
But then I've looked at certain ways, like the vlog from this weekend won't be out probably like till next week because I've got to go through what was the good point and what was the bad point.
Yeah. And you've got, I mean, you again. I mean, taking it back to
No, no,
things that
you can't carry on,
I
mate.
come about from personal experience. I write something,
Yeah,
excuse me, put it on Facebook, and then it goes onto the other platforms in a shortened version for Instagram and for Twitter.
yeah,
But it's not until I sort of get the text on my phone to go on Instagram, I think, crikey, that's a bit long. And I go in there and I say, right, I don't need the bit that I don't know, it doesn't matter that he clipped the curb on lap 27 and broke his suspension. Just say he retired,
yeah,
or had a mechanical issue or something, and you just and you trim it and trim it and trim it, and then it's taken, and I'm still doing it, and it's been 3.5 years.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Fair enough.
and I've just seen a thing on the comments here. Sorry, I'm just going to butt in
That's
here.
all
Mark O'Neill, he's just said it's your opinion though on things, and it is. You've got and that's a balance of getting your opinion across, but trying to be balanced with it and trying to see both sides of things.
right. Yeah,
And I found that is bloody hard. It's much harder than you think it would be, because you've got to think about how something's going to sound or how something's going to read.
yeah,
And I didn't realize that was so tough.
yeah.
You know?
It's not easy, but obviously, Dave Chambers says, "Is the hard compound business cards worth any money yet? Still got his from Brands Hatch GP 2019."
Just in case people don't know what he's talking about, what I do, right, whenever I go and see someone who's or I speak to someone, and I bring them to race
Yeah.
meetings, I hand these out, these little ones here. It's all backwards.
Okay. Yeah.
Basically, that's a relatively new logo. I had a different logo for the first 4 or 5 months, and Dave was at Brands Hatch
Okay.
the first time. The page went live on the Tuesday or the Wednesday, and we went to Brands Hatch for the 2019 BTCC finale when Dan Cameron had his moment, and I was lucky enough to be in some hospital. We're lucky to be in the hospo in hospital, courtesy of RCIB Insurance. Dave was there, and I was just sort of chatting to a couple of people, saying, "Oh, do you think, just set this page up? Do you want to come and give it a follow? Blah 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 blah." Yeah, he's just said it, and he's got the old school one. There was only there wasn't too many of them given out, Dave, but I think they cost something like half a penny each. So you've probably got about, I don't know, about 500% inflation on that. It's probably worth about 15p. So
Clever.
if you keep hold of it, Dave, if you keep hold of it for 50 years, it might be worth a quid.
That's good though, because the sticker I handed you out, my brother made that. We had a picture of, I think it was Ashton's MG from 2016 when my dad and obviously Jem went to Alton Park.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, we use that as a logo. We'll just paint it in, put Hopper's Motorsport Vlogs in. It's a picture that no one else can say, oh, it's copyright issues. It's my own personal use. Happy days. And it's been the logo. It's been the logo ever since. I've not had any intentions to change it.
Excellent. No, good stuff. I mean, I basically picked a logo. I think it's still black and yellow, and I've always liked it yellow on cars and with the head and center and all that. So that was the scheme. But it was different font and all that different kind of stuff. But someone just said, "Oh, you need something a bit more bold and stuff, so I can design it for you." So I let him do it.
That's fine.
But yeah, Dave. I mean, you could have yourself, you could have yourself a nice shiny pound coin in your pocket when we don't have cash anymore.
So obviously you've interviewed quite a lot of famous people, but
yeah, I actually counted. We've done 90. Well, from the ones I've got arranged,
yeah,
I've got up to 99 arranged.
whoa.
And I've got a few more people on the hook, but I want to try and arrange it so that one of them is 100.
No.
And I'm hoping to hear back in a couple of days. But I've got 3 that may be able to do it, but we'll see. But yeah,
Right, just out of curiosity, how do you approach them then? Because I can't do that. Well, everyone knows who I want to invite on, mate. So, I'll leave you to figure out who that is, but you probably know already because I never shut up about him.
um, but, I'll just give you a quick insight.
I don't really want to learn the tips and trade, but I just want to find out how exactly.
I'm not telling you my secrets. You have to learn yourself. No, I'm joking.
It's fine, mate. I don't care.
No, basically, I'll just tell you a quick story. What happened was, I've got to be honest, I was running low on ideas.
Right,
I did an A to Z of motor. Yeah. I thought I can start doing on this day. I look back through Wikipedia and start doing those things. And I can start, and I thought I could have like a day for colours, red day, and it would like put a Ferrari up, put the motor board up, a NASCAR up, things like that, just to keep it ticking over.
Yeah.
And I'm going to name drop a chap called Ian Waterhouse, who I think people may have heard of. He does the junior saloon cars and all the other club racing and all that.
Yeah, I've recently become friends with him on Facebook, so I do know him. Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw him doing something live on Twitter.
Okay.
And it just so happened that while I was watching it, because I thought, oh, maybe I could do that, I wonder. And didn't think much more of it. And about 30 seconds later, I had a follow on Twitter from Rob Gravett.
Oh, nice.
Absolute lad. And he's now become a good friend of mine, which is weird. And I've got a little model car. Woohoo! I had a follow, and I didn't realise that he's just down the road from me in Maidenhead. So, and I said, "Oh, I'm just watching." And he said he'd followed and he'd liked the page and what I was doing and whatever. And I said, "Oh, I'm just watching this live video. Do you reckon you'd be up for coming on and having a chat?" And he went, "Yeah, we can do that, no problem. As long as my son can come on, because he's just, Bradley's just going racing." So I thought, okay. And so I looked at a few things that could be streamed and everything, and how it can be streamed. I'm still trying to find something that does Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and I can't bloody find one. But it doesn't do Instagram, which is annoying. But we found this program, and we did it, and we chatted about it, and it happened. So that's how that first one came about. I then had a message from Alex Neville, who's involved at Graves Motorsport in the minis, was racing at the time, and he said, "Oh, can I come on and have a chat?" Okay, fine. So we did that. I thought, well, that was nice. And then I'd been in contact with like Ryan Falconbridge, and anyone who would have seen the mini challenge in 2020 and 2021 might have seen a very small hard compound sticker just behind the front wheel arch.
Oh, yeah.
Some of his sponsorship and stuff, and I gave him a couple of quid and whatever. So he came on for a chat, and then someone said that was really good. No, then Ollie Jackson got in touch. So I got in touch with Ollie Jackson because he followed me on Twitter, and I sent him a message, and he goes, "Yeah, no problem." And then as soon as that one was done, someone said, "Get Creasy on." Yeah. So got Creasy on. And that was about it. And then he mentioned in the chat, Jade Edwards. I went, well, let's get Jade on. So I just contacted them through social media, basically. And these chats, which was great. And it was just rolling around to like the September in 2020. And I thought, well, I could do with getting some other guests on, just to do a few for the first anniversary of the page, and then that'll be it. So I thought, well, I'd love to get Nigel Mansell or Alan Prost or someone like that, but that's a bit optimistic. But I thought, well, I know Derek Warwick's got a Honda dealership.
Okay.
Honda. And in Jersey, and I thought, well, if I go on their website and use the contact form, maybe I can get a message to Derek Warwick. It's probably the most random request Jersey ever had. So I just I just sent a message, and it got to him, and I had an email back from Derek Warwick. I was like, oh my god, exciting. Thinking it was going to be thanks but no thanks. He goes, yes, I'd love to, no problem. So that happened, and then I thought, who else did I watch when I was a kid? And I realised that I followed Ari Lyondike on Twitter, the indie. So I sent him a message, and he said yes. I was like, blimey, bloody hell. And then I messaged, was it Tom Coronel via his webpage, And he said yes. I was like, bloody Nora. Then I messaged Team Dynamics about Matt Neal, and he said yes. And then someone, I think it was Ty Cuthbert actually, his dad put me in touch with Louise Goodman,
Wow.
and and I'm thinking, this is mental. All these people are saying yes to coming on for a chat, and I thought this was never even on my radar. So basically, to answer the question, I mean, there's many different ways to contact people. I mean, I contacted the vast majority are through either their webpage or through Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or whoever. And yeah, half of them, well, probably about 35% of them say yes. About 3% say no, and the others ignore me.
That's mad, though, because obviously I actually had the pleasure to meet Rob Gravitt on Friday when we were at Stetson.
Great, isn't he?
And what a cool chap. He actually won the championship the year after I was born. I said that to him. He said, you're making me feel really, really, really old now. I was like,
you're making me feel old. I was 9 when he won it.
But that's the thing, though, Rich. It's like I look back at all the history for British touring cars, and most people probably think, hang on a minute, how do you know it all? You're only 33, 34. I'm like, well, the internet's a fabulous place for that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you can have a little bit of knowledge about something and think, oh, I'll do something about that.
Yeah.
And you read about it, and then you think, oh, I'll just go and double check a couple of bits, and you find out there's a whole, there's so much more to it as well. You think, oh, great, I'll add that in and work it in, and it's great. Blimey, we've got Dave Chambers and Oliver Taylor wanting to come on for the 100th chat. Blimey. What, Dave? I'll have you on when that business card's worth a tenner. Just while we're here, can we just actually quick say about Oliver Taylor? Oliver, I hope you don't mind the plug. Oliver Taylor, he's on Twitter as Artified, but the Artified is F1, so it's ART1ED. Check him out because he basically gets bits of old F1 cars and stuff and cuts them up into key rings and chains and wheels from Lewis Hamilton's car and puts them in, makes necklaces. Absolutely, mad as a sack of badges. But very, very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. So go and check them out.
So obviously, right, I'm going to ask you this. This might be somewhat, maybe it might work. But what actually got you into motorsport first of all? Then what was the connection? Was it just a thing, or was it just something you've seen?
Like many people of a certain age, Matchbox cars still going strong. For some reason, I always, liked cars. My sister wasn't into anything like that. My brother was into sort of bird watching and wildlife and all that kind of stuff. And I just found myself playing with some cars. And the Matchbox collection kind of grew and grew. But they were normal, road cars or, I think I had like an RS200, but it was mainly like a Ford Escort and a Mercedes and a Vauxhall Nova. I remember a grey Vauxhall Nova. But then must have been Christmas, maybe birthday, maybe 5th birthday, I got a couple of Matchbox cars and they were F1 cars. It was the old Ferrari from '85. And I basically opened it and looked at my dad and went, what's this? This is a weird looking car. It's got no roof. And he goes, oh, that's a Formula One car. I said, what's Formula One? And he told me about it.
Oh, wow.
And he said, look, the season's starting soon and whatever. And he said, no, we've got Nigel Mansell and Martin Brundle and I think Johnny Dumfries was just signed for Lotus and all that kind of a thing. And it just went from there, really. That was my introduction into motorsport. It was through toy cars and then me getting one that I didn't know what it was.
That's mad.
And that was that. But one memory I do have, actually, when I was at one of my earliest memories, apart from my dad explaining about it and saying F1 and blah, 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 blah. I remember I woke up, given that I was 5 at this point, I woke up at about, 10:15 or something. And I went downstairs. I was like, "Mummy, can I have a cuddle? I can't sleep." Um, which still happens to this day. No. And and there was a picture of a blue and white F1 car. And I went, "Oh," it was on TV. And I went, "Oh, Dad, is that F1?" And he was like, "Yeah. Oh, quickly, let's go back upstairs. Let's go back to bed." And I didn't really put two and two together until about a year ago or 2 years ago. And the blue and white car was the Brabham that very sadly Elio De Angelis had just been killed um, in '86, and it was a piece saying that he had been killed and whatever, and that's why I was being shooed upstairs. I didn't,
Yeah, so that would scare you away from it all. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They're probably wishing that they'd let me watch it now. I would have been rambling on about motorsport for the last 37 years. Um, yeah, and obviously so that was it. The second half of the '86 season was where it all started, really.
Oh, nice. It's quite good.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid. Obviously, going back probably like I say, 24 years. My first, British touring car event and stuff like that. But from what I remember, from what I obviously tried to, how can I put it? My dad said something about I had a scale electric set with it.
Yes.
But
Which one did you have?
I had the old Tourist 2000 one.
Okay.
But,
Yeah. Cool.
But I remember me because obviously I tried to recollect because I was doing a vlog about me first ever visit to touring cars. And my dad said, "Well, you had a scale electric set. You were watching it on telly. We played the touring car games on PlayStation." And I was like, "Hang on a minute. How on earth did I get involved into that at an early age? I used to be really rubbish at racing on the PlayStation, whereas my dad was better than me, and I still feel like he's going to be better than me like a couple of years later down the line,
Yeah.
But no, I got into motorsport with my late grandparents when they were around and naming all the cars when I was 2 years old around the car park. And I was like, how on earth could I do that at 2 years old? But yeah, it's crazy.
It's cool how things sort of start, and you just think when you're a kid, because when you're a kid, you live like 5 seconds at a time.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So even like an hour in the future feels like a lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's mad that you think, I'm still interested in this. Of all the stuff that's come and gone,
Yeah, of course, mate.
that's when you know you've got it bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, so like you started with the touring cars. I guess that's where you started.
I started with the touring cars and then progressed into obviously getting better into, because we used to hear about obviously people getting killed in rally events like spectators, and my mum said to me, "Dad, oh, you can't take him to a rally event because if something like that happened to him. So my dad was like, oh, "Okay, what's the next alternative?" And he was looking around, and Maybank Holiday 1999, as of next week, 24 years I fell in love with it and never looked back.
Wow. So he thought rallying was a bit too dangerous, so he took you to see a slightly controlled form of rallying with a big PC.
Yeah, which I was kind of confused about it at first, but I thought, well, hang on a minute, this doesn't really matter because it's still motorsport, it's still cars with an engine, you name it. And then a couple of years later, obviously 2009, maybe 2008, I lived away from home, studying at Myers Co College outside of Preston, motorsport, first diploma, and they got me into rallying. They converted me from being a touring car fan. They said, "Oh, well, touring cars okay, but we worked on rally cars throughout the year I studied," and they got me into that. Then I went to WRC, and we've got M Sport up the coast from us, so that makes it even better and it makes more sense. So
yeah, and it is awesome, and I mean, it's gone. I wouldn't say downhill, but it's not what it used to be. I mean,
right.
We all, well, me, my kind of age, we'll remember like the like Martini, like the Lancia Delta in Integrale and the Toyota Celica and the, what was it with Ari Vatanen, I remember in the, a Mitsubishi Lancer or something, and all those kind of, like Juha Kankkunen and those kinds of guys, and then obviously Richard Burns from my hometown in the Subaru with Colin McRae, and then the computer game came out, and that was also.
It's crazy to think how many people get involved in motorsport, whether it's through the games or whether it's through general interest.
Yeah.
But I still don't understand how I managed, and this is probably how I managed to get involved in British touring cars, is how did I manage to get into that at 9 or 10 years old? I still have to work out roughly how old I was.
Yeah.
But how could my dad know about such things like that, even if we were playing the games? I thought the Toka touring car games was just a made-up championship until I read the back of the box and said the official game of the British touring cars. I thought, wait a minute, what if I thought this was made up?
It was an actual thing that happened. Yeah.
But it's mad.
But I mean, so what age were you when you got into the BTCC? What was it?
9 or 10.
Yeah, it was a similar age to me. I was like, whoa, crikey. 1988. Obviously, I spoke with Jerry Marney recently, which was amazing. It was the first chat he's done about motorsport in the best part of 30 years, which is very cool. But he actually won the first BTCC race I ever watched. And it was a week later. It was 1988, and he won at Silverstone in the RS 500. And the love of the RS 500 was born. I'm going to be controversial. Everyone loves a super touring era.
Yeah. Well,
it's a great era, but RS 500s, BMW M3s, get in.
I could easily look back at them times throughout the internet and just think, imagine if I was, I saw them at that age, or maybe a bit younger, but obviously not. Super touring was in my blood.
Yeah.
But I still watch the old school YouTubes and think, how cool are these? Like you said with the RS500, BMW 30 M3, it's mad.
It's brilliant. Brilliant cars. And again, going to the interviews and stuff, I'm kind of working my way through the RS500 drivers.
I don't blame you.
It's just so I can get some cool photos for the wall. Because I've spoken with like Graham Good, who had the Listerine one, Jerry Marney in the Arquati one. I've had Rob Gravett on. I've had Carl Jones, who's obviously come on with the Duckham's liver. I've had Steve Soper on in the Texaco. It's just going to be a really cool kind of 5 aperture frame on my wall. It's going to be great.
That'll be good though, won't it?
That's the only reason. Yeah. I'm only in it for the photos. No, I'm just...
it's fair enough, mate. You've got to do what needs me, mate.
No, you've got to get something. Yeah, you've got to get a little souvenir.
You've got to get something. Dave wants to know who we're predicting for the champion this year.
I'm going to
look you. I don't care if you pick who you want, mate, because I'll tell you quite different.
Oh, don't. Dear. I mean, it's good that it's so close. I mean, we've got, obviously, I know Dan Camish hasn't had the best weekend this last weekend, but I wouldn't rule him out. I think the Napa Motorbase cars are very strong. We know WSR are going to be up there. It's going to be one out of those 2 stables, I think. I mean, Tom Ingram is up there, but I just, it's so hard to go back to back in the BTCC. I mean, obviously Ash has done it in the Infinity when he was absolutely bonkers in it, but oh dear me. I mean, every time you're about to say a name, another one comes in. You think Ash. No, not Ash. I remember more Jake, maybe. No, Collins is consistent. Oh God, horrible question.
There's too many to pick, isn't there?
Dave Chambers has just said it's between Sutton and Hill for me. Yeah, well, I'm the same. Right, Dave, you pick one, and I'll have the other one.
Well, I'll tell you. All I'm going to say is, and this is my opinion, I think it's whoever is more consistent throughout the year now, for the rest of the season. I can't pick a 100% winner, but I think it's going to be whoever gets consistent and racks up the most points throughout the weekend.
Because he's out of trouble.
Yeah. But something tells me in my head at the minute I can't pick the winner because I need to see how everything goes.
I mean, I must admit, my first thought was Ash Sutton. My
Yeah,
initial thought was Sutton because I mean he smashed it at the
he
weekend, didn't he?
did.
I mean he was all
He did. He was on rails at the weekend. That car's already on rails.
ridiculous, but he does better. You know, places like Croft. I know he's won there in the past, but that little twisty section at the back there, and at the end of the lap, and sort of like Knock Hill. I mean, he's not quite, but the fast circuits where you can really open up the taps and give it a blast, like down the back straight at Snetterton, like at Donington Park, places like Alton Park. You know, they're quick circuits. And I think that sort of plays into his hands. I mean, I think if we were going racing at places like, say, if they did away with Thruxton and threw
Yeah,
he would probably struggle a bit because he's just a good. I mean, he's good technically, but he's a good fast driver. His car control at high speed is absolutely ridiculously good. Whereas Colin, for argument's sake, is a more kind of technical, you know, and he'll do well. He's the king of Croft, and he'll do better at places like Croft.
yeah.
Um, obviously, Mark has just said, but the Focus isn't the fastest in the straights,
No.
which is true. Yeah, the BMW and the Hyundai a bit more slippery, a bit more streamlined. It just shows how bloody good Ash is because he's pulling away from people
Yeah, he's.
in a Ford when he shouldn't be.
No.
And I just think that over a season, I mean, say but yeah, on that same tack, if you flip it, if you take, I don't know, the technical section out of Snetterton, or if you take, I don't know, sort of twisty circuit, if you took Croft out of the equation and we went racing at Castle Combe,
Yeah.
probably annihilate him because even if he's not got the best, most aerodynamic car, he's still getting speed out of it because I mean, he got speed out of a Subaru Levorg,
He did.
which
Yeah.
which is a caravan.
The caravan on wheels, as we're going to put it.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
so difficult. It's so difficult. But yeah, I think if you're looking at a car to win it, you'd have a toss up between the Hyundai and the BMW. But I don't know. I'm just thinking Ash Sutton. I can't get away with that. I can't get away from Ash Sutton. But
Well, I don't blame you because this, like I say, I can't pick. I need to wait until someone filters to then make my mind up. You know, I was like that a few years ago when it was between obviously Dan Camish and of course Colin Turkington, 2019.
yeah,
I thought Camish would have had it in the bag, but obviously the brake failure cost him big time.
yeah. I mean
He pushed himself too hard with that, in my opinion.
that's the first time that I've ever heard an audible gasp from a crowd. I mean, you could hear it. I mean, everyone just went.
I can imagine. I remember,
to say, "Oh God!"
I remember watching it at home, and I thought, "This is going to end. This is going to end in disaster."
Yeah,
one way or another. But you know, like we said, he's not had the best weekend at Snetterton. He's got to try and then push on now to try and maintain that, try and get back up there to where he wants to be.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, we've got a fast circuit coming up. You know, we're going to Thruxton next, and as it was alluded to in the comments, it was like, you know, the Ford isn't the best in the straights. I mean, okay, there's nowhere at Thruxton that's straight really, but it's quick. It's all rapid, and they took 2 wins there last year.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying? And they took a 1-2. You know, the Napa team, and so. It's hard to know. I mean, there's cars that you don't think should be quick are, and those that you think should be aren't. And you know, it's like the one Motorsport Hondas; they're not quite dialed in yet. And
No.
you know,
which is very concerning.
Yeah. Oh, just saying again that Ash didn't have a great weekend at Donington. No, he didn't, and that's where you think that he might have done.
Yeah.
But then again, we had to throw the weather into that and everything. But I mean, it's so hard to call. I mean, I've always said there's like 3 things that you can't call the winner on. One, BTCC Championship,
Yeah.
2 the Grand National, 3 the Indy 500.
Yeah.
Absolutely no. Oh, blimey! Look who's in.
Mr. Creature. He always pops in now and again.
Very good to see you on Sunday, mate.
I missed him. Where was he? Because I missed him over the weekend.
It was trying to hide under a hat that's got his name on it.
I missed him because he was there, but I was meant to obviously meet up with him, but I couldn't find him. So
well, we sort of bumped into him. We bumped into. I mean, he was busy. We bumped into him very briefly. Just before.
He doesn't need to apologise for being super busy. I'm not going to be upset about it. It is what it is.
Yeah. No, he was just in the pit later. What was it, in the paddock just before the race 2 grid walk. So
okay.
But he's not racing this weekend, is
no,
he?
He's not.
Creasy, he's got family.
No, he's going on holiday. Did Johnny get?
Blimey.
But yeah, it's good. Like I say, how drivers come into my live videos and people come in, and it's like, this is what I like. It gets me out there, because Creasy's been on a few times and he's given me a pep talk. He's checked in how I'm doing and everything. And what a guy! I couldn't ask that from anyone else.
Top man.
There is a few people that will ask how I'm doing. Like, for example, the likes of Dan Robottom over the weekend. Catched up with him Friday for a bit, just to sign a picture of me and him. Not the cartoon one that you've seen previously, but the original. And he asked how I was, and that's what I like. And then Saturday,
personal time.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday, I met up with his dad, catched up with his dad, and then give Jen to meet up with Sadie, Dan's wife, and
nice.
Get to meet little Ayla. And I thought, this is exactly how it should be.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about people in the touring car paddock. Some people are respectful. Some people might give you 5 or 10 minutes of your time, but that's about it. I'm not bothered how long people spend with me, as long as they're very respectful.
And it's just great that, they, whether it's me or you or any other fan, most of them will, even if they're busy, they'll just like acknowledge you or nod and smile. There's a I just sort of waved to and said hello to, and they sort of stopped for a quick chat and wandered off. And it's nice. I mean, and I think obviously the BTCC is great like that, but there's a lot of other series as well that are like that. Excuse me. And there's only one very famous one that is very much in its own bubble. I'm not going to go down that route because the whole bloody thing's a mess at the moment.
We won't mention that on here. Maybe we can DM each other about that and we'll find out.
Yeah, we won't say the one letter and the one number. We won't say that.
No.
But it is great, and it's really good, and it's not just the BTCC. Obviously, it's like the mini challenge and and the various Porsche series and all that. You get to a point. It's quite nice when a driver recognises you.
Yeah.
And then, hello, mate. And they nod at you, and you think, oh, hello.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, because obviously I went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to Snetterton, because obviously I was down there on Thursday. And I introduced myself to Dan Lloyd, and I said, Hoppers Motorsport Vlogs, this is who I am.
Yeah.
But obviously, when I'm at the track, unless the driver knows me directly, then I'll tell them, obviously, my YouTube handle or the Facebook page. And me and Dan Lloyd were talking about some of the negativity he's had on his YouTube. And we're having a bit of a crack about that.
Because he got some stick, didn't he, for not putting his video fast enough. I mean, it's almost as if he's got a day job, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because I talked to him about how, I told him who I was, and he said, oh, thanks for your support, I really appreciate that. And I said to him, well, at the end of the day, you can only do what you can do. You can't just get them out when you need, get them out on a Monday. You can't do that. You have to be great. You have to de-stress and whatever from the racing. And people don't understand that. I mean, it's like with all the hate that's been going on recently, I've almost, like, I hate to say this on camera, but I've almost gone to bed in tears thinking, yes, okay, I'm 33, but it affects me to a degree where I think, hang on, it's a sport I love and adore, but some people are just keyboard warriors that don't give a shit about anyone.
And there's no
Honestly,
way
but that's how I feel, mate.
if that person bumped into Dan Lloyd in the paddock at Snetterton,
Yeah.
they'd say, Dan, oh hi Dan, how's things? By the way, you're taking ages with your YouTube. There's no way he'd say that.
No, people wouldn't go and say that to their faces. That's what I've said all along. They wouldn't
Exactly.
dare go and do that. They wouldn't dare do it to me.
Yeah.
But I just feel like sometimes, I think it's because obviously I love the championship, you know what I mean? And it's like when I found out, and obviously, you know, Dan Rowbottom was getting a load of crap because people said, well, you're the one that got rid of Dynamics. Totally untrue. You know, I thought, hang on a minute, if you don't know what's going on, you're just not looking at the bigger picture. You're not a fan. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I have a lot of emotion, you know, and I'm very headstrong about it all.
Yeah. You said about Dave Chambers said people will just expect everything. Yesterday, that's the instant gratification world in which we live. But what sort of gets me is people, and it's the same more so with racing drivers. There's so many people that still think that BTCC drivers, the BTCC is their day job, and saying, "Oh, well, he's only there because he's brought money." Well, yeah, that's literally how the series works.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure Creasy will back us up on that. You know, I saw a chat Creasy had with Tom Oliphant a few years back, and Tom said it's 98% chasing and 2% racing. You know, it's just trying to get the budget and the sponsors and all that kind of stuff. But on that kind of tack, you know, people, they don't seem to understand how the social media thing works. Obviously, there are people that make a living out of it, and you know, good luck to them. One day I might do the same, but
don't we all?
be nice, wouldn't it? But
Yeah.
people say things. You know, I mean, someone said I put a teaser out like I've done tonight for the next live chat for next week, and I put a teaser out saying, "Oh, I said, oh, the person, yeah, what was it? Oh, I said it's almost the month of May, which means the Indy 500 um, lot. No, yeah, sorry, which means the Indy 500. It means a lot of F1, and it means Le Mans. And the next guest has done all of that, and give us a guess type thing. And someone guessed at Dario Franchitti. Now I'd love to get Dario on, and I said. I said, oh, well, you know, could it be? And then someone said, oh, well, you couldn't afford him. I was like, what? What? Do you think I pay people to come on? With what money?
Yeah. It's silly, isn't it? Because
I've got 2 young kids. I haven't got a lot of spare money.
Put it this way.
Yeah, but it's like, this isn't great. This is a hobby.
Jen and I live in a rented flat, and I go out to work, and I only do a certain amount of hours a week at work. And I'm like, hang on, I don't pay people to come on. I don't pay to do whatever, to get people to do things for me. I do it in my own free will.
Yeah.
Got a problem with it? Why are you here then? Why you liking my page? Why you following? Why you subscribe?
Yeah, but every single guest that's come on has done it out of the goodness of their own heart, which is amazing.
Like you've done tonight for me. You've come on in your own free time, in your own free will. I don't care what people think. People have come on because they want to come on to talk about things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I might make you buy me a cup of tea next time I see you, but
that's not a problem, mate. I can do that.
It's weird. I mean, people seem to think that, you know, this is the day job, and they go, well, how would I make money out of this? But it's just a hobby, and you do it because you love it. And obviously, the BTCC and other series, they go racing because they love racing.
Yeah.
But only a few that will take a wage out of it, and it certainly won't be enough to live on.
No. But that's what people don't realise. People don't realise it's not their normal day-to-day life or the day job.
Yeah.
You know.
But there's some, someone says, oh, you've got to wait till you get to F1 to really start making money. I read something. I mean, okay, I mean, I wouldn't sniff at it. I don't think any of us would. But Pierre Gasly takes home, I don't know, something like £3.5 million a year or something like that. But with the sponsors that he brings and the contacts that he brings to the team, it's worth about 10 million. So he's taking away 35% of what he brings. And even at that level, it's yeah.
Mad, isn't it? It's like, but it's what annoys me about people don't see the bigger picture or the clear as day. I know for a fact if I can't get someone to come and talk on an interview like I'm doing now or whatever I do, I feel like saying, well, hang on, doesn't matter. We can try again in a couple of months' time.
Yeah.
The end of the day, I do this because one, I enjoy it. Two, gets people like yourselves recognition as well as me. But I don't say to people, well, hang on, there is a small fee because I'm using my time. No, that's completely wrong. I do it because I enjoy it, and
Exactly.
it just makes me sick to the bone sometimes. Think what people go through, or what they're taking or drinking to be so negative.
Well, that's the thing. But there's, I mean, and people might have seen it. I have the odd wobble now and again where I get annoyed. But I mean, I put a lot of time into it, a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of thought into it, and to put the articles out there. And I'm often up until 2 o'clock in the morning writing things, notes, and preparing things. And I spend a lot of time doing it, and I do it because I love it. And if you're going to do something, do it properly.
Yeah.
And I have a wobble now and again. You think, oh Christ, no one's watching this. And unfortunately, there's been some financial things that could have been done but weren't done and everything. But when you bring up the fact saying, look, I need you guys to support the page, and it wrong or it comes across as being ungrateful, which is never, ever, ever, ever the case.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for anyone that tunes in or anyone that hits the like or anyone that comments or anything like that. But you do have, everyone has good days and bad days. And I said, we need you guys to engage because there's companies that would like to come on and promote their stuff through me.
Yeah.
Which is amazing to begin with. But they said, you got X amount of followers and the reach is good, but there's not really much engagement and we don't really want to put any money into it if there's no engagement. And I tried to explain that, and a lot of people came back saying, oh, it just sounds like you're doing it for likes and stuff. I'm never doing it for likes.
No.
It's never that, and it never has been, and it never will be. Okay, it's nice when you think, blimey, there's like 600 people have had a look at that, which is incredible. But that's not why you do it. You do it because you love it. But when there's an opportunity to make a bit of money out of it and help support the family, and it slips through your fingers, you've got to kind of explain why. And it's a case of, oh, please like my page, please hit like, oh, I need the attention. And it's not that. It's a case of, look, all you got to do is hit a like button or a shut up button or whatever, or something or anything. Because that could be money in the bank. But and then, even then saying that, people are saying, oh, but now you're only doing it for the money. And you think, oh, for goodness sake, I'm not. No. But see,
I think that's half the issue with people, because people, like I say,
they always go to the negative.
Yeah, they always jump to the things that are so negative. For a fact, I'll share your stuff around to help you out, and that's what I do. When you've done the same for tonight, and that didn't take 5 or 10 minutes to do. People don't realise if you share things, it goes a long way.
Yeah.
It gets more people. I always put a friend of ours, like you are, that you were doing, I don't know, let's say an interview with Dan Rowbottom tonight, let's say whenever it is, go and support you out, because if I'm not there, fans of me will go and check the hard compound out. And sometimes I feel like saying half the time, I always say to these people in my live videos, if you're not here and I'm live and you miss it, and people say, sorry, I'm late, or sorry, I missed your live video, I'm like, there's no need to be sorry. You can watch it back anytime you want. It's there to be shared. It's there to be watched. At the end of the day, we all have lives. We all have busy times and stuff like that clash. Like some of half the time I can't make your live videos because I've got other commitments, but I still get time to, if I can, to watch them.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I need to catch up with some of them. But
Which
I am here to watch them and enjoy them.
But it's very appreciated that you go back and watch them, and it's great when anyone goes back and watches them. Must apologise to some, because some of them are pretty long, and they're not usually down to me. But
It's how it is, mate. It's how it is.
yeah, but that's the thing about having a page or a vlog outlet like you've got.
Yeah.
People think you're doing it for attention, and you're not.
No.
You're doing it because you do it. But then on the flip side, when you do put all the effort in, it's nice to have a bit of attention. But that's not why you do it. If you see what I mean.
No, I see what you mean. I remember, like, obviously when the news came out about Dynamics taking the hiatus out of this year, I straight away then did a vlog that night and jumped on and probably spouted a few expletive languages in that vlog. But that's just expressing how I feel. And people probably think of watching it, probably think, why is he swearing? Why is he kicking off about it all? But that's because I'm trying to get my point across.
Yeah.
But,
and there's nothing wrong with being passionate, because if we weren't passionate about it, we wouldn't have set the things up anyway.
Exactly. Exactly. A lot of like Mark says, you can't please everyone. You can't. And
I can't please anyone.
See, there's a lot of things that people don't realise. You can't, as you say, you can't please everyone, but there's certain people, and I look at it now when I look at it from my perspective. If someone came in here being negative and being nasty, there's obviously a good friend of mine who was at Snetterton over the weekend, obviously with myself and Jen. He's an admin of Hopper's Motorsport Vlog, so I made him as an admin. And I've always put in my live videos, I didn't put it tonight, but any comments that are nasty or hatred will get removed. And if they carry on, they'll get banned.
Yeah.
I don't do negativity.
And that's the thing. I mean, with the hard compound that I've put up there, there's so many pages. Some of them have got hundreds of thousands of followers, and people may know which ones I'm talking about, F1 related.
Yeah.
Just post out deliberately inflammatory stuff, or just hypothetical guff.
Yeah.
Things like, what do you think would happen if I don't know, like if like Lewis Hamilton grew a third leg and was caught cheating, and it's like, which is fine, but I like to do something that covers a lot of things and is balanced, but it's a nice place where people can come and hit like and have a conversation about things without spring what up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't often happen, but sometimes you get someone who comes in and starts kicking off. And I think, look, I'm just one person. I don't have admins. It's just me. I don't have time. I don't have time for this crap, basically. And sometimes I just say language, or all right, settle down, calm down, and then they come back and they bite back harder. Right, get out, bang.
Well, that's the thing. It's like
someone sent me a message giving me grief, comparing me to Hitler.
You didn't need that, did you?
I'm like, oh, thanks. Yeah. I think, my old fruit, you might need to get out a bit more.
Yeah. It's like
a page, but
a good mate of mine, Neil Hall, that I met over the weekend. Obviously, I met him Friday night. He said he better stop taking the piss. He comes in for a bit of banter, and it's harmless banter. As long as people do it harmlessly, I will take you.
Yeah.
But then they'll come to a point where if someone jumps in now and starts saying, "What on earth is this monstrosity?" or starts taking the piss out of stuff, I will say, you either calm down or you just go. Because I don't need it in here. There's people in here that are interested in what I'm doing. Despite the majority.
There's always the option. If you come in, you see something, you don't like it, go away.
Yeah. And it's something I have to learn, because I don't do negativity. I'm never negative to anyone. Sometimes I can be foul-mouthed rant about things, but I'm never
we all
kicking up about anyone else. You know, I keep my own personal opinions about, I don't know, say when the likes of whoever, I don't know, when whatever happened a couple of years ago, I keep it to myself. I don't care. You know, that whatever I say about anyone else stays in my head, stays in my mind. I don't blurt it over the internet. It gives me a bad image.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, it's why I don't have. I mean, I've got obviously the Hard Compound on Facebook. And I've got my own personal Facebook. I don't have my own personal Instagram. I don't have my own personal Twitter. Because having the Hard Compound on those forces me to bite my tongue.
Yeah.
Because I don't be that person.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps me keep my brain in check because we all get passionate about things. Some people take it too far.
Yeah.
I know that if I sometimes say what I'm thinking, it get me into a bit of bother. Well, or it might open up a whole can of worms, which opens up a huge long conversation, which I can't be bothered with.
Yeah.
So I just keep it to myself. I keep it to myself, and if everyone else did that, there might be a slightly nicer atmosphere across social media in general. I mean, I don't know if you saw, and I'm just going to have another quick plug. One of Brad Gravitt's sponsors, they're called like Thinking It Better.
Yeah. And
they do, and it's all about mindset and positivity and changing how you think. That's the first road on, it's first step on the road to success and all that kind of a thing. And they did some podcasts with some people who have apparently done something with their lives, and they invited me on. I don't know. I've got no idea why. It must have been a slow week. But the question was, what would you like the Hard Compound to be? And I said, I don't really know. But he said, and this brings us back to what we're talking about. I said, is the negativity and the toxicity and all the other that goes on. And my example was, you got most of the British fans on this hand support Lewis Hamilton. Most of the Dutch fans on this hand support Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
And in the middle, it's just a cesspit of toxicity and horrible obnoxiousness. And it's been born out of probably the Silverstone incident back in 2020.
21, wasn't it?
I should know, I was there.
It's all right. You don't need to remember everything. You just, it's what you
It's my age.
Yeah. I'm saying nothing, mate. I'm staying out of this. Told you, I'm too kind-hearted.
And I said, it doesn't need to be. And I said, I want the Hard Compound to be the place, it'll never represent the whole of motorsport. It's never going to get that big or anything like that. It's the place, I want that gap to be smaller. That gap between one extreme and the other, and all the guff in, and all the guff in between. That doesn't need to be there. We've all got our favourites. We've all got our, people we don't like so much.
Yeah.
We're all passionate about it. Just sometimes you need to keep it to yourself. But then that gives rise to the free speech, freedom of speech. Yeah, freedom of speech is one thing, but freedom of speech comes with the right of other people to talk.
Right, the right to have the respect as well of other people's opinions.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's sometimes we look at things and we think you're talking rubbish, and we all do it.
Well, I've been there, done that. I've probably said stuff out of content previously where I've looked back and I've commented on certain things, and then people have obviously then got behind the keyboard and thought, I'm going to disagree with what you've said, but they're going to turn it on my head and think, well, did I really actually say that about that person? No, I did not. I just said this is how I felt. It could have happened.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, I've never really talked about it much as I have done, because obviously I've not started this that year. But 2011, Jason Plato and Matt Neal at Rockingham, when they had that near enough fisticuffs in the pit lane. That's never been talked about. But ever since I looked at that, I thought, well, hang on a minute. Plato is a bit of a spoiled brat, in my opinion. But then, on the other hand, Matt did go him on a bit and say, "Come on, just I'm going to hit you in a minute. You're just acting like a fool, showing me what you think of me, and your fans are applauding, and my fans are goading me to hit you." But it is what it is. But
Yeah.
I don't see that as like an issue to be sort of a rival. It's a rivalry that stemmed from how many years, and
Yeah, and it was building and building and building over years. Yeah.
yeah, and it was getting there and getting there, and I think it got to a point where it got to boiling point, and then it boiled like a kettle. But because you left it too long, the water came out of the kettle,
Yeah.
and then it just like exploded into a huge war of argumentative and probably not very nice to see. But they're now the two drivers that are now missed currently on the grid.
Yeah, same.
So
It comes down to, I
it
mean,
is what it is.
you know, you see Plato and Neil now, and it's all water under the bridge. They laugh about it.
Yeah, they laugh about it. They get on like a house on fire now. Them two.
But there's still people that are angry about it. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, it's all right.
Yeah.
And surely there must be bigger things in your life 12 years on now. I mean, there's things that annoy us in the sport, and you wish they hadn't happened. Nigel Mansell's tire exploding in 1986. Wish that hadn't happened.
Yeah.
But it doesn't upset me. I don't, because grow up.
Exactly. But it's like Mark's thought about Mark Neal went up to Jake Hill 2019.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Stuff like that. It's probably heat of the moment between drivers because the adrenaline's still kicking in.
Yeah.
And they're trying to fight for position and stuff like that. But then people say, like Mark said, it's set up for telly. It's not set up for telly. If it was set up for telly, we'd be having On the Limit, as in the documentary, on telly every weekend, every night of the week.
If that Nick Plato thing was set up for telly, why did they do it then?
Well, exactly, mate. Exactly.
The final round when there was a championship at stake to really boost ratings. Think about it.
It's just, I don't know, mate. It's crazy to think what people what goes through people's heads. Excuse me.
For years, the BMWs need investigating.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Sutton got in the Infiniti, they need to look at the Infiniti. Why is it so much faster? We saw it during the week. Oh yeah, the Fords need investigating. For goodness sake.
Well, I think half the issue is people are going to say that the Navarates and UK focuses are going to have to be looked at now.
Yeah. Someone said it on Saturday, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I think it was sometime over the weekend.
It was Saturday evening.
I said to myself that they're going to have to be something's going to have to be done, but then I don't say that to everyone else. I think, well, hang on, if the car's good and the car's on rails, there's no different because it's just how they set up the cars for the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and people always just say, he's only up there because it's the car. Well, yeah. I mean, if he didn't have the car, he'd struggle, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Of course he would. If he didn't have the car underneath him, he would be miles behind. I
mean, that's a hell of a sprint, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but you look what he did in, was it Brands Hatch a few weeks ago, where he started 11th and then battled with Ricky Collard and then got past him or something. It's like, hang on a minute, that just shows how consistent Ash Sutton is as a racer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... Okay, fair enough. Ricky had that penalty for track limits. I'm not going to go on about the track limits thing, because I have different opinions about that. That's still baffling my head. We've not really had a clear answer, not clear as day answer about it all.
Thing is, I mean, because unfortunately, BTCC isn't on a global scale, and there's not the money in it like there is in F1.
Yeah.
You can't have the same hard and fast rules for every circuit, unfortunately, because they can't all circuits. They've got different ownership. There's the cost implication, etc., etc. But I've always said that track limits go away if you say, right then, forget the bits about the curbs and everything else, and all the other, and then the bit of green behind it, and have you got 4 wheels or 3 1/4 wheels off the circuit or blah 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 blah. I just think there's a reason that there's white lines on the outside of a circuit.
Yeah.
If you go fully over them, you're off. I mean, you've got curves that are about 6.5 feet deep, and you think, well, why? What is that doing? I mean, okay, it gives the car a bit of a rumble. I mean, we don't want to see cars flying up in the air and rolling and flipping and all
No, we don't
that.
know.
But if you Google, it's something like Austrian Grand Prix 1987, and the first picture that comes up is the first little chicane at the old Österreich ring, and the curbs are about 3.5 inches high. I mean, they're not vertical and they're not 45, but they're kind of, and the cars are staying
Yeah.
off them. It's unbelievable. You think, look, do that. Maybe not to that extent.
No, but to a certain point.
But you have a curb that's penal, and then gravel, a strip of gravel. But then someone says, "Oh,
that's half the thing, isn't it? Because after circuit, like you've got line.
But they're saying that it might put gravel back onto the circuit. Well, it only does if you go through it. It says, "Oh yeah, but cars might run wide. They might do that." Yeah, that happens. But it might get people to. It might get some certain drivers to calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
But if there's a would cars go over the white lines if there was a wall 6 inches behind them?
No, because they wouldn't, would they?
So when there's a curb behind it, because they can. There's got to be some kind of a middle ground between the curbs that we've got now and a lump of concrete, because no one wants a wall there.
No one wants to hit that at full speed, do they?
I don't know what the answer is, but I'm bored of track limits. I'm sick of it because they can't police it to the letter at every circuit.
No.
And, someone can say, oh well, they've gone out on like track. There's a difference between going over track limits to gain an advantage and keeping your foot buried in it, to having a slight lockup and sliding out wide.
Yeah.
And but you could penalise one and not the other, and it might not be correct. And it's just a massive can of worms, and it's annoying.
That's the thing. That's why I can't express how I feel about it, because there's so many ums and ahs about it. When I was on about it a couple of weeks ago to myself, I thought, hang on, maybe Ricky had too much penalties given, but he ignored the warnings that big time, and then excuse me, but then got the 10 seconds. But then you can't really jump into that and say that's 100% true, because there's obviously some element that I don't really want to say on here, because I might make myself look a fool, for mentioning it. But there's probably some stuff that we need to have a bit of clarification from his side, and probably what the officials actually saw. But the way it was handled, totally not really how I thought it would be.
It felt a bit like smoke and mirrors, didn't it? There was no real sort of. I mean,
there's no sort of like issue. There's no like consistent an issue. And then when he got into after the race and went into the technical area, I think he was kind of like, "Hang on a minute, Speedworks haven't told him."
Yeah.
So, was there an issue with communication?
Yeah, and how clear is that between the powers that be and teams and drivers and stuff? But what I would say about it, I mean, I don't know, right or wrong to penalise one and not the other. What I will say is the penalty was harsh, because there's no way that whatever he was doing, he should have held him 10 seconds. So why are they penalising him 10 seconds for something that might have gained him?
Wasn't even worth 10 seconds, in my opinion.
No. But and then is it gonna open up the can of worms where if he does it again, is he gonna get 5 seconds?
Yeah.
And
but then it's like,
and then it just rolls on and on and on and on, and that's why you need, I don't know, a big lump of gravel or something.
Yeah. But it's like, forgive me for saying this, but it's his attitude that I didn't like afterwards in his interview. And I was kind of like, hang on a minute, you're on national telly, you're in Britain's Premier category here, you've raced in British F4, you've raced, I don't know, whatever he's done previously.
Done GP and endurance,
Yeah.
and yeah.
But it was his attitude in the interview that got me a bit annoyed about it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they have it in for me and my dad. I was like, oh, hang on a minute. Why are you bringing your dad into this? Because you're the one behind the wheel at the minute.
Yeah.
But that was just my opinion, and I do feel sometimes like it is what it is. But carry on.
It's that tightrope, isn't it, between getting caught in the heat of the moment and saying something,
Yeah.
and then crossing that line into, oh, really? And it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I mean, obviously I've spoken with Ricky and with Rob on the page, and they came across as quite like relaxed and chilled and just very matter of fact. But then when obviously something goes wrong, and you don't feel it's like an unjustified penalty, or if someone punts you off the track and it's nothing, you're gonna feel aggrieved. But you think, how far do you go with that sense of annoyance? It's how far do you go with it? So yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, I'm not a racer. I don't know how it feels. So,
It is what it is, and
but then
I'm
go to
I'm saying I've just said my bit about it, but I was a bit disgusted with the attitude I saw, and
yeah,
I was like, well, hang on, you're in that car, you're in Britain's Premier category, you know, you should know exactly what's going on, but maybe, like we said, it's the heat of the moment. Yeah,
but on the flip side, there's someone's going to say, "Oh, it's great to see that you're so passionate about it," and it just shows where that blurred line is.
yeah,
Someone will say, "No, it's fine, he's passionate about it," and someone will say, "Well, what a pillock." So
exactly, yeah. And
it's
that's half the issue, because when I watched the interview, I thought, oh, well, don't be here then, don't be in the car.
yeah,
Let someone else in, because if you're going to moan about it and, you know, have that attitude, then jog on, because Speedworks are going to look at you, or any other team and go, well, he's got a bit of an attitude here, but he probably hasn't.
yeah,
He's probably the heat of the moment that's dragged him down,
yeah.
and he's probably thought, I've been robbed of a win here. And yeah, he had two podiums taken away last season, but
It was at least, wasn't
yeah,
it? One at Snetterton, wasn't it? Yeah,
one at Snetterton and one at Alton Park, and
that's it.
but I think maybe there's a lot of things that have crossed his mind and probably didn't help him.
Yeah,
So
it was probably like an accumulation of things, but you can guarantee 24 hours later he'd have watched it back and thought, well, I stand by my standpoint, but perhaps I could have articulated it better. But you're not thinking like that, are you? When you,
not no, because like I said, it's the adrenaline, it's the heat of the moment taking over.
yeah, and as I said, I've just an example of that. I'll try and see both sides, but there's certain things and there's always two sides to everything, usually.
There's,
Sometimes you've got to
there's
look at
always
it.
stuff. There's always stuff that goes on.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to find both sides sometimes, haven't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, but we've got 12 days off from the madness until the next one.
What we're going to do for 12 days?
In 500 coming up.
Yeah,
Got the Grand Prix.
that's going to be happening. Yeah, man.
Monaco, was going to cause a dispute. Is it this? But yeah, Indy 500, get on it, boys. Yeah.
Yes.
I think
I'm just checking what time we're on, really. 25 to 10. Jesus, I've kept you longer than I thought I would.
Everything I touch turns into a load of rambling. But yeah, but no, just on that point, we got like Tom Oliphant. He's doing all right out in Australia. Got a nice shiny new car, or a car that I'd love to see in the BTCC. The old Lincoln Co.
Yeah.
Ridiculous name for a car, but
yeah, but it's Chinese, but built by Swedes in Sweden. So I think that's. Have we lost him? I lost him there. See if he comes back in a minute. Oh, he's gone. Oh, well, never mind. I think I'll wrap it up here, ladies and gents. But yes, guys, thank you for tuning in to Hopper's Motorsport Vlogs as well as Rich from the Hard Compound. If you do like this interview, please do give it a massive thumbs up. I'm going to actually wrap it up because, as I say, I've been talking for quite some time and, you know, we have been rambling quite a bit. But if you've enjoyed it, guys, do give it a massive thumbs up. I'm back live tomorrow for what is going to be just a general catch-up tomorrow. And then, of course, Friday, I will be giving you guys my thoughts and opinions about Snetterton weekend from the BTCC. If you're going to check us out on Facebook, if you're new from, obviously, the Hard Compound, please do. And, yeah, I will be back tomorrow at 8:45 p.m. for just a general catch-up to see how things go, how things have been. And it's been an utter pleasure for having Rich on. And, as you know, it's been a bit of a, how can I put it? A bit of a really cool, well, it has been a really cool chat. I appreciate it, Rich. Sorry, we cut off at the end there, mate. But it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. You're more than welcome to come on as another guest at any time. And yes, guys, I will see you tomorrow at 8:45 p.m. for a general catch-up as well as then Friday. And then next week we are back to normal Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because we'll be talking about the Fruxton preview. I'm looking forward to doing all this. And I'll tell you what, I hope you've really enjoyed this live video, guys. Until tomorrow, take care. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, or if it's even been Tuesday morning for you, I hope you've really enjoyed it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Ta-ra.